Welcome! This is Kip Ferguson from MotivolugyMatters.com, and you found part 3 of our 11-part series that we're doing on Ken Wydro's Think on Your Feet, where we're providing a quick overview of what Ken has provided us as information in our book. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, I encourage you to head over to MotivolugyMatters.com and look at our blog section. You should be able to find both the introduction that we did and also part 2, where we took a look at the first chapter of Ken's book. So right now, just sit back and relax, listen as we take a look at the slight edge technique. There are 3 key points that we want to take a look at in this chapter. And the first one is one of the major concepts here, which is it's a slight edge, not a big edge. And we'll take a look at that in a little bit more detail so that you can distinguish between what we're talking about and we can really focus on that slight edge. And the other thing that Ken works with us here on is that there's really just 2 things that we need to do each day. And it really talks about putting a frame around our day. So these 2 things that we're going to do, we want to make sure that we're looking at this at the beginning and at the ending of the day. And then the last part of this, and it's really a bulk of this chapter, are 13 suggestions that are laid out by Ken that he looks at different feedback that he's received from other individuals that have worked through this slight edge technique and the types of things that they have come across, so that you're aware before you start working through this slight edge technique that you can see what you may run into and how you can overcome those things. The key to understanding the slight edge is understanding that this is not the big edge. We're not talking about a great big thing, some big task that you have to go out there and accomplish. We're talking about a slight edge, something as small of just 1 more success out of 10. By increasing just that 1 small piece. We don't care about those other 9 times. If we just improve that 1 time out of 10, our results are going to be much larger in the big picture if we can keep improving that day after day. The key here is your technique, not your talent. You have the talent. That talent is deep down inside of you. So what we want to focus on here is our technique. How can we improve what we're already doing with the skills that we have? And to do that, you really have to have the presence of mind. You really have to think and focus on what you are doing each day. And that's how you can demonstrate that slight edge. By having that presence of mind, we then go out and we demonstrate what we're doing, how we're improving each day, taking those little steps along the way to improve. To demonstrate our slight edge, we really need to do just 2 things each day. Ken suggests that by doing these 2 things each day as part of the slight edge technique, we can see great growth over time. So the first thing that we want to do, or how we want to do this, is we want to frame our day. So we want to look at this at the beginning and the end of the day and really get our focus on what's happening to us. We really want to work for ourselves. We really do work for ourselves. So if you can work for yourself, you're going to see that improvement because you need to get that growth out there. And to do that, we're going to write your own book. So to write your own book, we're going to want to get a journal and make sure that we're tracking what's happening during the day so that we have a log of that. That's going to be our book. Now the 2 things that we want to focus on is an idea for the day and then to visualize that idea. So once you have that idea, not some specific task, but just an idea of how you want the day to go, and then before we start, we're going to visualize that. And what happens is then you become a living magnet, and you're going to attract what you've visualized. As you start working through the slight edge, as you start visualizing and you really get that idea for the day, there's going to be 13 suggestions or 13 items that you could run into that can suggest that we can overcome. Now the first part is the inertial patterns. We really need to make the time. We need to overcome all those external forces that are upon us. So we need to overcome that friction that's dragging us down. So get past those initial patterns. And then what you need to do is understand that we will miss days. It's going to happen. We need to move past that. And then we need to make sure that we do our evening review. Make sure that we're reviewing what happened during the day so that we've kind of framed that. Make sure that it's on both sides. The other thing that we need to do as we're writing our book is read between the lines. Look at not just the surface, but maybe the why behind what's happening. And enjoy the quiet as you focus on what you're doing. Take some time to read your book aloud. And don't tell other people. Now, part of that do not tell other people is to make sure that we get past those inertial patterns so that we don't have that external force upon us and holding us back. Now, the next suggestion here is to use your book any way that you want to. You need to understand that this is your book, it belongs to you, and you can decide how you want to use it, how you focus it, and what you write down in it. It's not important as much about what you're writing down in there other than the fact that you're taking the time to write that down. And you need to be convinced that you have a unique talent. You are uniquely you. So your talent is unique. So make sure that you understand that. And then pretty soon you're going to find that the journal is going to become part of yourself. If you don't have that journal, you're going to feel lost. So you'll find that journal is just an extension of yourself. And before you know it, you're going to finish your first book. You're going to get so into this, so focused, that pretty soon that book is going to be finished. And as you finish that, or probably even before you get it finished, your goals are going to become more apparent and understand that you're responsible for the basic efforts. So those are the 13 suggestions that were laid out for you, and that's really what we're talking about in this, in the set material, in the slight edge technique that Ken Wydro has set out for us. So we're talking about the slight edge and not the big edge. Take a look at those baby steps, those little steps that you can take, the slight improvement of your technique over your talent. You already have the talent. Now you just need to work on your technique to improve that. And then you want to do those two things every day. You want to make sure that you take the time to establish that idea for that day, the focus, how you want that day to play out, what you want to see there, and make sure that you visualize it. Really make sure that you're taking the time to visualize that. And once you visualize that, we also laid out those 13 suggestions. And feel free to go back and replay this and take a look at the 13 suggestions that we've given you for how you can make sure that you get the best out of the slight edge technique. Take Ken's information there that he's gleaned from all kinds of people that he's worked on with this program. So with that, I hope that you've enjoyed this material and look forward to giving you part 4 here. And this is Kip Ferguson from MotivologyMatters.com. I strongly encourage you to go over and check out our website, check out the blog and all the material that we're offering there. We also have our podcast up over at iTunes or at Podbean, either one. Just do a search for Motivology and you'll find us. You'll also find some links for that over on our website. So thank you. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I hope that you've enjoyed this version of Motivology Matters review of Ken Wydro's Think on Your Feet.